Welcome to Growing Up, a Star Wars Story. It is October 4th, 2022, and let's get started. Hello there, everybody, and welcome to the Extra Star Wars podcast. We're covering the Disney Plus Andor series, Star Wars' first show, dropping curse words, growing up, and paying attention to the details. As the reviews start to roll in, we're excited to bring you our version of the show to help dissect this new version of Star Wars. Andor and the Boys starts when the big bell rings. Make sure you follow Extra Star Wars on YouTube and Spotify. And don't forget to check out the Casa at Casa de Dupree over on YouTube. This is how the rebellion starts. Gentlemen, we're back at it. My name is Sean. We're all tired. 4 episodes have dropped. And Mike is here. How are you, Mike?
I'm good. Just living the dream.
I love that.
Anybody want to buy a house in South Philly?
There's absolutely nobody that wants to buy a house right now, and I'm so sorry. But maybe we can get the word out on Zillow, or we'll put it to the Empire. I bet you they could do some plans and do something for it. Damien, welcome back. How are you?
Fantastic as I can be. I need a little calf right now.
Oof.
For sure.
Big time calf. I watched Screen Crush's 1045 Easter eggs found in episodes 1 through 3, and calf apparently has never been mentioned on video ever. So that appears to be the first thing that's very interesting about this show. They're again paying attention to the details, so we'll certainly get into that. How's the Casa? Are you making content? I haven't seen. I think I saw some stuff. How's it going?
Mostly shorts, man. Like this summer was just a blur. Like just super busy.
Yeah.
Stuff at work. Like coming home and like I'm just so drained at the end of the day that I'm like I just don't have the creative juices to do stuff. But I've been getting back into it. So, like I told you guys before we got started, I'm getting the Lego office set tomorrow. I'm gonna build it tomorrow and get a video up. So I'm excited about that. I just need to get some videos out there of things I'm excited for.
Yeah, for sure.
Similar with my OnlyFans endeavors. I am usually drained at the end of the day too.
I don't like the way you use that sentence doesn't really sit well with me. I don't want you to elaborate, but do you have a whiteboard and a couple baby dolls?
I have all of the things.
Well, we've been a little slow over in the extra household, just getting some things together and making sure everything is operating. I have a new keyboard that I bought a long time ago that I've wanted to unbox. It's still in the box. So apparently I'm a box collector and an item hoarder, and I don't do anything with it, and that's about it. So that's just where we're at. I think all the boys have off tomorrow in some capacity, so we're here to bring you a decent show. We're not gonna be too long. We're changing the format to sort of streamline it a little bit, so that way you're watching this assuming you saw the show, and if you didn't see the show, that's silly. Go to Disney Plus right now and watch it. But I was, let's talk about a little bit of the hype train around this show. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, when this show was announced, we were like, no, it's not gonna work. Do you remember how you felt when it was first announced, Damien?
Yeah, it was kind of just like, why?
Yeah,
because that's kind of been my recurring theme with like even Kenobi. Like I enjoy Kenobi as we discussed about it, but it's just kind of like there's not that many stakes. Like we know what happens to Andor unless like that was just a dream and he wakes up and didn't get evaporated on Scarif and all that good stuff. So, but yeah, I mean it's still interesting to learn about him because we didn't know much about him and like versus Kenobi, we knew a ton about him. Boba, we didn't know that much about, but there was still stuff that happened after the movie. So to learn about this character for me, I was intrigued. I still question why, but yeah, I was intrigued.
Mike, do you remember how you felt about Andor when it was first announced?
Very similarly, I had the why feel to it. I was thinking of like a few times that I've watched Rogue One, I thought was Cass that like charismatic, and did we need a series about him? And now I'm coming to realize, after watching the first 4 episodes, I'm coming to realize something complete. It's not about him, which is kind of awesome.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm definitely feeling for myself. Yeah, there's a Star Wars fatigue out there, and you have so much content now that it's hard to. You almost have to stick to your guns, to your boots, to your blasters in like a very particular era. Like that's why the argument works. Like, oh, I'm only an OT person. Well, now there's like every T person. So there's, I've been reading High Republic. I do believe it's going to come out on media, like streaming media, video media sooner rather than later. They're really doing that. Until they read about what Phase 2 is going to be about, which doesn't have anything to do with Phase 1. They're going back more. So I don't understand that. Like, there's no connection to all the stories, and you don't even have to read Phase 1 to understand Phase 2. So what did I spend all this time like building up that little niche era of universe to completely disregard it in Phase 2? Unless they're like doing an MCU thing where there's characters in Phase 1 and Phase 2 that will come together in Phase 3, then okay, then it's kind of worth it. But I don't have that feeling right now. So it's hard right now to be excited about the franchise, and I don't like to be excited for blind excitement either. I think there's some. I mean, D23 was pretty encouraging with Star Wars Land. There was a lot of cool things announced. Skeleton Crew seems interesting, because it doesn't fit the mold. Mando Season 3 obviously is probably going to be really good, because they've done a good job there.
Yep.
Ahsoka will probably be the contender for really great show in the Mandoverse. So, there's things looking up, and, Rogue Squadron dead, shot out of the sky, doesn't exist anymore as a movie. And with, what was the recent Marvel news? The Armor Wars moved from a Disney Plus series to a movie.
That shocked me.
It's interesting, you know what I mean? So, like, how are they making these decisions? Like, what's happening, there, to make it all rotate? But, we're here to talk Andor, I think. And it came out, and I went to see Rogue One in theaters. I invited the 2 gentlemen here, but they were busy, whatever. And we took the daughter. She was very excited. 20 minutes in, she said, when is this going to be over? And I said, oh, hon, we got 2 hours. Yeah, sit down and eat your popcorn. You're going to be fine. But she was engaged. It's a good, loud, fun movie to be in. And man, that final space battle is just so good. There's nothing wrong with it. Everything about it is great. It's the third act is probably the best act in a Star Wars movie like ever. It's just the action is amazing. The way they tie in 4. I took a video of Kate watching the final parts, and she was like, Leia, what is happening in this movie? Like, she got that. So it was pretty cool, to see that little interaction. But then before the movie started, we saw the 9-minute preview of Andor. That was one of the main reasons why we went there. And I got a cool poster that the dog stepped on, and now I have it under iron every night. And it was the scene at the end of episode 3, which I'm sure we'll talk about. So I kind of knew what was happening, which may have played a role in me being super tired during episode 3, attempting to watch all 3 in this, at the same realm. But yeah, so we're not going to do episode recaps. We're actually just going to get into the episode with our overall impressions.
Overall impressions.
None of that has changed. I'm very lazy when it comes to graphics, but I'll try to work on it. You know what? We'll get every single graphic changed by season 2 of Andor, episode 12.
There we go.
Season 2. It's going to be great. Welcome, Nicole, in the chat. Good to see you. Thank you for seeing the notification. You are here. I did not notify anybody that you're here, so you are here because the algorithm worked. So that's pretty fantastic. All right. Overall impression of episodes Oh, I guess we parallel this? Just go like overall impression of 1 through 3, or overall impression of 4, or however you did your overall impressions. Mike, lead us off with how we've been all messed up. We canceled last week. We're trying to get this week going. I stopped looking at our Instagram chat because I even got confused about what the hell we were going to do tonight. So I just said, you know what, let's just do whatever. And we're here. Okay. So Mike, did you do an overall impression for all 4? I think so, right?
I did one overall impressions for 1 through 3, and then an overall impression for 4.
I love that. Let's start with 1 through 3.
All right. So my overall impressions with 1 through 3 is that the 3 episodes together played out like a movie.
Mm.
I understand why they released 3 episodes, because I think if I watch the first one and I'm in after the little fight scene after the brothel, and I'm like, yeah, I'm in, and then episode 2 completely slows it down, and then 3 picks it right back up.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I would have like kind of lost interest a little bit after episode 2, where I think it was a brilliant idea to release the 3 episodes because I think Disney realized that too, and Kennedy realized that too. But I was like, 1, yeah, okay, I'm in. 2, it was a snooze fest for me. And then 3 from top to bottom was just incredible.
Yeah. Good stuff. I don't remember 3 too much because I think I did fall asleep. I missed the curse word. I only have 1 watch in. But I agree with you. I do, you know, what I wrote is there's slow burning 3 episodes, which was quite refreshing to see that. And there was a lot of Game of Thrones episodes that you were like, what the hell is happening? Like, what does this have to do with anything? You know, and I think we're going to get that. I think we're going to get deeper cuts in this show. And I think I'm looking forward to some thought into the show. Damien.
Yeah, so I did the same as Mike. I went 1 through 3 and then 4. And yeah, I agree. If they didn't release all 3 in one cluster, even though like we were talking about it can be a hard watch, like to sit through all 3 of those in one sitting. Like you had the peaks and valleys between the 3 episodes, and I think that's what made it work. So for me, I enjoyed that. If they did single episodes and like all we got was that first episode, it'd be like really cool. And then episode 2, just kind of a downer. Then episode 3, like picked it back up, and there was so much action, so much stuff going on. So, and then for me, episode 4, it almost kind of feels like the side mission episodes in Mando, like the little one-off episodes where he kind of is going off and doing his own thing for right now, or kind of it will somehow weave into the main story, but it's not quite there. But when you have 12 episodes, though, I think you can get away with that versus Mando, where we're only getting less than that. We're not getting anywhere near double digits. So when we get those episodes with Mando, like we try and enjoy them. But for me, I always just want to see the story move along. But with 12 episodes, we have that luxury. So it's not too bad.
That's pretty cool. Your holo projector is a little bit on delay, which is really fun because your mouth is still moving, but you're not talking at all right now. It's actually very interesting. So I don't know. I think you have to adjust the satellite, realign the satellite on the top of Scarif Tower and see if you can get back to us.
Now I'm just a talking letter. There we go.
Yes, yeah. Oh, at least you're giving us the D. All right. So my overall impression for episode 4, I wrote, again, I watched it. I think I'm watching him on Wednesday nights. I'm not getting up. Man, I'm not getting up at 5 in the morning. I just will avoid Twitter. Doesn't matter. I have the moments heat up in this complicated story as sides in politics are revealed. I found, I get it. We have like a side mission with Casa, with Clem. But really, the intriguing parts of that episode was the non-Andor moments, and that they were really good. I mean, I'm sure you all read about a little bit of the site locations and shoot locations and stuff like that. So that's going to be really interesting to talk about in Noticement. So, Mike, overall impressions for 4 for you?
So I wrote down that 4 was like a college lecture for me. And
which grade?
College?
Well, I'm just saying.
Just any old like college lecture hall where it's just like 100 some odd students in a. So 4 was kind of boring to me, but I knew that there was a lot of important aspects of 4 that I need to pay attention to because I know it's going to be important later. Like I think I had so many notes on 4 of just like, who's that name? Who's that name? Who's that name?
Right.
Who's this connected to? And so, like I said it before, not a lot happened in 4, but a lot was revealed.
Yeah. There was a lot of groundwork laid, a lot of rebar and some foundation. There's a very interesting Easter egg that I will talk about later in noticements. I think it was happening in episode 4. But I didn't know anybody's character names after episodes 1 through 3. Couldn't tell you anybody. I had to do some external research just because a lot of characters, it's like we're being introduced to this small subset of characters again. It's easy to know, oh, that's a Luke. Oh, that's Han. That's blah, blah. So it's just like, finally, I think I'm getting to know what, we go through all these, the first 3, get all these new characters, and then now we're moving on. Now there's all these new characters again. That could be a super duper negative coming down the line if they keep doing this format, giving us like all of that stuff to think about moving forward. So yeah, all right, so cool. So overall impressions, are we positive or negative? I'm pretty positive about it. Mike?
Same, very positive.
D?
Yeah. I'm positive so far for sure.
All right. Good. So there we go. So the barometer on the Twitter gives me positive vibes. I haven't really seen a lot of negativity. Unnecessarily, you get your extremists, but it seems to be overall, most people are enjoying this. People weren't into the S-bomb that I didn't quite catch. I don't care. Whatever. It's like one of those. This is a show that you shouldn't be watching with your kids. Sorry, deal with it. What do you think of Star Wars and cursing, Mike?
I have no issue with it.
Right.
Scargar's dropping a couple bastards. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I didn't even hear this shit.
It was the English guy, the Scottish guy. Apparently said it in the street.
It's like, oh shit, and like
it doesn't even count. No, it doesn't even count.
It was like very like he's like front and center, and it was like there's all this chaos going around him, but it was just quiet enough for you to hear that. But it doesn't bother me. I mean, look, Andor, like he's supposed to be the hero, and in Rogue One we see him just like shoot a guy in the back. So
that's intense.
Like,
you know what I mean? He had some
gritty,
intense moments in Rogue One.
They're worried about shit being said, but Andor's going to a brothel and Bix is half naked on a bed. Like, relax, everybody.
For sure. All right. This has inspired me to add in a quick homework piece, and we're just going to call this character study. Let's go on through the characters. That way, when we start talking about them, everybody knows what we're talking about. Obviously, we have Cassian Andor, not his last name. That was fun. That was interesting. What we learned. We got Bix, B-I-X, right? She's the sassy mechanic. If I was her boyfriend and she kept running off, I think I'd be curious about it. That's just me. Is it Luthen? Is that his official name, or is that his like stage name?
Luthen, like Yale or Vale or something like that.
All right, he's the rebel to be. Obviously, we have Mon Mothma, who's probably like the best actor ever. In what role she plays. I don't know anybody else in this show. Are there any other characters? And chat, you can help us out. Are there any other characters that we should know? I'm not counting the droid, aka Wally. I'm not counting him.
B2 Emo?
B2 is it really Emo?
B2 EMO. B2 Emo.
Okay.
I said he reminds me of Doug from Up.
Nice. Yeah. Nice.
Good comparison.
That's good stuff. All right. My father-in-law is calling me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start us off with because I forgot to do something. Of course I did. I'm going to get us into our top 3 moments.
So we're just skipping characters?
And, well, I have enough characters for me right now to get us through, just because we got to call an audible right here. So here we go.
It's our top 3s.
I'm going to briefly exit, and I'm going to hand it off to you two so I can look for something in the garage. BRB.
All right. So we just listing our 3, like all 3 at once?
I don't know. He didn't give us a script.
I mean, we could just. I don't know.
Let's start 1 to 3 because you did the same thing I did, 1 to 3, right? And then 4. All right, then let's start with 1 to 3.
All right. So my tops for 1 to 3, in this order from 3 to 1. So 1 being my most favorite. Number 3 was just like the architecture for this, and the set pieces were just so cool in this show. Like Bix and like her boyfriend's apartment just looked awesome. The fact that they were using like actual set pieces instead of just green screen and everything else, I just thought it kind of like added more realism to it. Aunt Petunia was my number 2. Harry Potter's Aunt Petunia in there as Marva. So I didn't read up on the casting before going into the show. I went in completely blind, and minus like watching the trailer once. So she might have been in it, but she's such a good actress, Fiona Shaw, like such a good actress.
Great.
And she was just really cool in this role as Andor's like adoptive mother. And I was just genuinely surprised with her. And then the whole like shakedown scene where they have her pretty much trapped and she's just like really keeping her cool and doing what she can. So that was that. And then I know we talked about this in the chat, but my number 1 for like 1 through 3 was the score. Like the music in this show is so good. And it has like that like deep vibration, like bass and everything about it was just. I don't know if it's on Spotify yet, but I definitely got to look it up because the song playing at the end of episode 2 was just so
those drums. I want to run through a wall.
Yeah.
And music was my number 2. And well, one of my 3. I never put them in order. I'm just like, I like this. But music was definitely one that I wrote down because I feel like the music in Andor is completely different than any other Star Wars entity that we've ever seen. Like it's none of that like John Williams like doo 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 like that was a heavy bass drum to it. Like that was like that had some like anger behind it, and I liked it. Even with when he goes into the brothel and it's not a Max Rebo music. It's not like Max Rebo and the Rebo bunch up there. It's like a techno song. Like the music is completely different in Andor than it has been in any other Star Wars thing, and I am here for it. And similar to the end of episode 2, where you got Cass walking and the drums hitting. At the end of episode 3, where it's like all the close-ups of all these people with that really dramatic music playing, and like you could just tell that something is like starting, like the rebellion is starting at the end of episode 3, and you could just feel it with that music. Music has been phenomenal. I had to look to see if it was our boy Ludwig, and it is not.
Doesn't sound like Ludwig. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Nicole, for reminding me that Perrin is a weasel. And Marva, of course. Marva, a.k.a. Aunt Petunia from the Harry Potter series. There's your deep cut for there. I didn't pick on that until much later. I went, oh my God, it's the same person. That's incredible. For me, the details. There's just so many details. They took time to get the details right. You know, this is outside of the volume. They did a great job at just putting things in to make you feel like you're put in there. You know, speaking of brothels, but like also Amsterdamian window prostitution as he's walking through, and there's these like bubbles and there's that kind of cool stuff. Subtle like sexual references without saying it, which is kind of cool. You can get away with it, but at the same time, we all know, what's going down. And he's there, not for a mission, which we're so used to in Rogue One. Like, oh, what rebel mission is he on? He's not on a mission. He's trying to find his sister, which apparently he hasn't seen in a long time. The locations were beautiful and lovely, cinematic and awesome, as our good Godfather Roe would say. And then just like deep lore cuts. Some of the things that I heard was like Wobani. Obviously, that's a Rogue One reference, and I don't know if it's a labor camp just yet, but it's probably going to be there eventually. And then the symbol of the Separatists, on that little planet, which was cool. It's not quite the Republic, not quite the Separatists, lots of moving parts. And, how is Marva, is Marva a Separatist? Was she on that ship or was she part of the Republic? We don't know. Can you did she survive the first 3 episodes? Or did they take her out?
I think she survived. They didn't
Yeah,
show her.
she's still there because once they were ready to like do something to her, like that's when chaos started like breaking out.
Gotcha.
Outside.
Gotcha. All right, I just wanted to make sure. Did you just do 1 through 3? Sorry, my father-in-law is going to call me. He needs to borrow a tool from me, which is like the proudest moment of my life. And which I think he gave me the tool in the first place. So is this Indian giving? I don't know. Maybe. Don't know yet. But so I'm gonna pop out when he calls me and hand that over to him. But that was 1 through 3. Did you go through 4 yet?
Dane did his 3 for 1 through 3. I did not. I did 2. I did 1 of mine from 1 through 3.
All right, there, Mr. Mateo, go for it.
I loved and Star Wars has been going to this well a lot, and I eat it up every time.
Grogu,
of course.
Could you imagine?
You caught him too.
Yes.
When they do like 2 separate stories going on at once, and they they all like come together at the end, especially with the flashback to Kenari with Cass and when he first meets Marva, and then it was similar to the Obi-Wan, Vader, Reva, Uncle Owen scenes in the finale of Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And that last scene of young Casa waking up and seeing the sun on the ship with Marva and her friend, and Luthen flying off, and you see the sun, and it's like essentially the symbolism between those two scenes where I really enjoyed that. That was one of my top 3 that I don't rank. And the other one was the clanking and Marva telling that one Precore officer, when it stops, that's when you start to fret. And then that's when all hell broke loose in the streets. And the Luthen and Cass get away with the like car and with the explosives. They shoot it up, it explodes, and they hop away on the speeder. Loved it.
Yeah, I mean that's early forms of guerrilla terrorist warfare.
Yep.
Very Saul Guerrero like in its way to not really. Saul Guerrero was trying to kill people.
Yeah.
I don't think they were out to kill any of those dudes, but holy moly, were they? How many are there? 12, 14. Like they weren't ready. I did read up on some.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, no worries. I did read up on. So you might be solo for a second, Micah. This is going to be a problem for you. Actually, it won't be. You'll be great. I did read up on the politics of it all. Like, all right, Ferrix is under the watchful eye of what's the Precore? What is that? Their corporation or whatever it is?
It's like their own little like law. Like they're not empire. They're not
right. So the person
Republic.
on Screen Crush compared it to say like Cloud City, where they're under their own jurisdiction, and the Empire is going to keep them, stay away from them as long as they're paying their taxes and whatever.
Yeah.
That's why it's very interesting when the ISB gets there, and every single one of those. We didn't even talk about the ISB. You know what I mean? Like the ISB.
Because we're not on episode 4 yet.
I know.
I'm still talking about episode 1 through 3.
They don't. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. But still, I mean, politics wise, they're like, yeah, we're gonna take care of this from now on. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Too many episodes. I tell you right now, we got to go one at a time. This is hard for me to keep track. I got a dog bothering me. I got Sawzalls to deliver in a few minutes. It's 10:18 at night. My night should be over already, but we're here.
Here we are.
Damien has no video. It's lagging. His Wi-Fi's out.
Who knows if he's there?
We don't even know. That's okay. He'll be back. Nicole saying that she loved the scene and quote with Marva. Lovely. The clanking was really cool.
It was very Purge. Like it felt like the Purge.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Mike, you're solo for a few minutes. Good luck, buddy. Talk about your final one.
I talked about my final one. So, hello, everyone, and welcome to my podcast, where I'm going to talk about... do I go into my bottoms? I don't know. Dane, you there?
Not so fast. I'm back.
Ha! He's back!
It's rough, man. My dog has like some kind of like skin allergy on his paws and stuff, so like have to put a cone on him. But he doesn't realize how big he is. He's like 70 pounds, so he's just like plowing into everybody. I'm like, all right, bud, like it's time for bed. All right, so where do we leave off when I left?
We ended with my top three, like the rest of my top 3 for episodes 1 through 3. Should we go into 4? The
Sure.
tops?
Yeah.
Yeah, this seems logical. All right.
So I guess for me, I really liked seeing Mon Mothma. Like I like how they're connecting all of these shows in little ways through characters, like having like Bail Organa in having, Mon in this show and everything else. Like so it kind of like loosely ties everything together. And obviously she was in Rogue One, so like we could pretty much reasonably expect to see her. But I do like that they have those little threads between them, but they, for the most part, just leave it as a separate story. But I did like seeing her a lot. And it's crazy. I didn't realize like she's been performing that character for a while, like between the animated shows and everything else. And I thought like everything with her and Luthen, who was another one of my tops, because it's like any one of the Skarsgård actors, like family members, they're always terrific. It's like
we're back.
Whatever they do, it doesn't matter what role you put them in, they're crazy. So I really enjoyed him. And then the Empire's costumes, those bright white uniforms were ISB. Like the attention to detail is just so good with
I keep wanting to call them the IBS
on the show. I just keep raving about it. Yeah, he had his own podcast for I don't know how long.
Congratulations. This is great. This is so great.
It was literally maybe 15 seconds.
That's not bad. That's not bad. And that's how babies are formed.
I did nothing.
You just
I just sat there like fly ball caught.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Hey, why does Krennic have a white outfit but he's not ISB? What's going on there? The hell's going on there?
That's a good question.
Thank you. I'm here to ask the questions, but I'm gonna give no answers. These are the questions I have.
I have no answers.
Okay.
We went to our
the
top
goddamn
3.
train. Where are we in the show?
We went on to our top 3 for episode 4.
Thank you so much for that. Am I stepping on anybody's toes, or were you in the middle of something?
No, I mean, I'm good. I went first, so Mike had to go, and then you or whatever, you and then Mike, whatever.
Perfect. I obviously, well, that's not obvious, but I have 2 moments that are sticking out to me. Luthen is so ruthless. I love it. He's so friggin' ruthless and also charismatic, and I'm listening to him, and I feel like I could follow orders, but I'm scared. And then he goes into his change.
The double life.
What is going on? He's putting on rings. He's got curly hair. And then he has to like put himself into that moment. It's literally me running to work late and I'm miserable. And then I walk into the classroom and I take a deep breath and I turn around and I'm like, all right, what are we going to learn today? And like, that's how I felt, man. Like I related to that so well because you really, when I try my best to not be fake on content creation. There's a lot of fake people out there. You're watching them. That's not who they are. I don't do that. That's not me. I'm not going to reveal my children. It's just not into that. But I don't try to be fake. But with like teaching, you have to, man, you got to put on a facade like you wouldn't believe. That is just like, that's Luthen, man. And then the scenes, like just piggybacking on that, the scenes with Luthen and Mon Mothma, and then seeing, like, we know Mon Mothma, and we're going like, all right, leader of the rebellion. She's cool. She's got short red hair and a white dress or pantsuit or whatever. The girl has drama problems in the homestead, and I love that. That is so relatable.
Mon problems.
It's like so great to see character depth that it doesn't have to make sense. Like, obviously that's not good, but maybe that is some inside motivation that I think we're going to see a Star Wars divorce. And I think that's also going to lead her down the path of, I got to divorce myself from this empire.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There could be some parallelisms there. But those were two really cool non-Andorian moments for me, both the whole Luthen double life and the Mon Mothma drama for your mama.
I got a like almost a Bruce Wayne Batman vibe from Luthen.
I like that.
Because like it's two separate jobs. Like, one, he's almost like the Collector in a sense. Like,
Ooh, I like that.
He definitely reminded me of the Collector from Guardians a little bit when he's like parading around his shop with all of his like prized treasures and everything else. But then, he has a dark character like Batman, and he's, all business.
He's the meanest person I've ever seen in Star Wars.
And he was just like the biggest pushover in Avengers. So it's crazy to see.
Oh, it's so hard. I mean, it was really good in what is that show in the nuclear fallout? I forget. But
Deep Blue Sea.
Not Deep Blue Sea. No.
He was in Deep Blue Sea.
No, I can't think of this show. It was brutal, and he was so good in it. Russia, Chernobyl. That's it. That's not Deep Blue Sea at all.
That's literally the only other thing I know. Stellan Skarsgård.
Wait,
from.
He was in Deep Blue Sea. Why is this news to me? I'm looking it up.
The only reason I know that is from the How Did This Get Made podcast.
What does he do?
And he kept calling him Stellar Skateboard instead of Stellar Skarsgård.
All right. Real rap, real quick. Deep Blue Sea is a great movie. It's not a great movie, but it is a great movie for what it was. Like, I remember, first off, it made $165 million at the box office back in 1999.
We have gone off the rails.
That's unbelievable.
It's Skarsgård cast.
It's unbelievable. Oh my god.
Speaking Skarsgård.
Back to you. Back to you. Who's talking? Back to you.
I don't know. I'll talk. But yeah, similar to Luthen, the whole I'm all angry and now I have to be happy again. It's similar to when I choose someone out in class and then I'm like, yeah, so about these ratios right now. So let's learn some ratios, guys. After I just slammed a ruler against a whiteboard to wake you up because you're sleeping.
Oh my gosh. Let him sleep. They may have had a bad night.
Nah. It was after lunch.
Oh well, that's inexcusable. You had the government lunch. You should be fine.
Exactly.
All right.
I enjoyed the whole opening conversation between Luthen and Andor. Yeah. Just how intense it was. How it was maybe I'm like, how does Luthen know all of this about Cassian Andor?
That's a great question.
I'm like, even in the warehouse in episode 3, I'm like, how does he know all these things about you?
Yeah.
Like, it seems like you're a ghost, you're nobody. How does this old man know so much about you? And then giving him the blue kyber crystal, very, very much like Jyn Erso's mom giving her the crystal too. It was very symbolic.
Trust in the Force. Yeah, no, it's what do you say? Don't sell it for less than 60,000 or something like that.
Yeah, 15 or something like that. Consider it a down payment.
Yes.
Oh, look at these new antiquities.
Yes.
Your husband loves things of war.
Where's there? I don't remember, but like in what was the last show? Kenobi. Kenobi had great lines, right?
Mm-hmm.
Great lines. Are there any lines sticking out to you? Man, it's just the show's so damn deep. It's hard to keep track of. There's more conversational tones and less meme talk, I think, in this show. Like, I don't think there's going to be any like moments. Like the only moment I've seen so far is Luthen. Like, it's like when you step out of the shower for the first time, or after a long day, and or your mother-in-law is in and you've got to put on the face. Stuff like that. Like that's the only meme I've seen of just Luthen changing character on blink of the eye. But there's not much. Listen, you got a lot of diversity in the cast, so I'll be the first to admit that I didn't catch all the words from everybody, and I didn't watch it with closed captioning first round. So I'll have to read. Hold on.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'll have to read. I have to rewatch with closed captioning so I can get an idea of what they're going.
I think,
top threes.
I'm sorry to continue. I think looking at my notes, I think 3 had a bunch of very memorable quotes. And it was kind of when Luthen was schooling Andor Cass and how to escape, when he was giving them the different rules, where he was like, I'm just looking at him now. Don't you want to fight these bastards for real?
Yeah.
Rule number 1, never carry anything you don't control after smashing the comm. When they figured out where they were. Rule number 2, build your exit on the way in, and then he blows up the door.
Yeah, you're right. That was a really good scene.
That's what a reckoning sounds like when they start clanging.
Mm-hmm.
There were like a lot of good.
And then the Marva quote too is a good one. As Nicole
when it stops,
says,
that's when you start to fret. Yeah,
the defense rest rescinded. Thank you for reminding me.
When Cass is talking about how arrogant the Empire is, and he's like, "You just walk in like you belong and take what you want." There 3 was memorable for quotes for me. I don't think I have anything written down from any other spot.
Yeah,
3
good calls. Good calls there.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Let's and the final calls for top 3s of the episode. So like I said, I'm going to be riffing off of you guys. So
I'm good.
I have one more little one. It's just a minor thing with a quote as well. When all the rebels are describing the plan and they give Cass his little Clem his little laptop, and he's like, I need to know this all by morning. He goes, "Can I eat my food?"
Yeah. Is it okay if I eat my food first? Yeah, there's a lot of human moments, I think, in these shows. These are more human. Like, this is like HR got a hold of this and said, all right, we got to make this a lot of relatable stuff. And for me, I'm definitely feeling that relation to these characters. I kind of want to be part of the rebellion. You know what I mean? Like, if that's how it makes you feel, while you're watching it, that means it's a good, intricate show. It's kind of like the Harry Potter universe. I think there's a good argument to say, like, yeah, I would love to be in the Harry Potter universe, like, while that was all happening. Like, that would be cool. The Star Wars, movies. You want to be that rebel. You want to be that person. You definitely don't want to be the person on the front line, because you're probably not going to last too long. But yeah, no, there's some good stuff happening in this show, and I'm looking forward to dissecting it now. So, if there's no other top moments, let's move on to our list of grievances.
Next up, our list of grievances.
General Kenobi.
We're gonna lay some logs on you real quick. We're not gonna wipe. You're just gonna have to deal with it. I hate myself sometimes. All right. I'm tired right now, but I'll tell you, being tired and watching this show is not a great combo. You actually have to pay attention to what's happening in the show, or you're gonna miss a lot of detail work. Like I would say I'm smart enough to pick up what's happening in the show, but to really appreciate the show, I do think you have to be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, as they would say, with very little distraction. This is not a show that you can turn off and turn right back on, like an hour later and whatever. I know I understand the 3-episode drop, but this also is one of those things where I was like, holy man, these are long. I was expecting like 3:30s, and it was like 39, 49, 42 or something like that. And I was like, oh God. And I hate to do that because I haven't even watched a new Thor movie just yet because I keep going to it and I go 2:15. I don't know.
Well, that's a shorter Marvel movie.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
just don't want to dedicate the time, man. I just don't feel like it. But yeah, that was a tough bottom for me for episodes 1 through 3. I don't think young Cassian actor is a good actor. That's it. That's all I gotta say. I don't think he's good. I don't think he did a good job. Anyways, Damesies, what you got?
Yeah,
1
I
through
mean,
3.
for me, 1 through 3, it was the pacing. Like, I'm glad we got 3 episodes because it kind of made up for it, but it's still, with 12 episodes, I guess they wanted to set the expectation of like, hey, we're gonna have like our mellow episodes, we're gonna have our heavy hitting episodes. Like,
That's fair.
You're gonna get the best of both worlds, whether you like the mellow ones or not. But I mean, yeah, like just coming out of the brothel and everything going on there, like the guy's accidentally killed, and then he's like, that was just like, whoa. And then episode 2, I'm just kind of like, all right, like very I can't even talk. It follows the formula of other Star Wars TV shows.
What is? Hold on.
Chrissy, wake up! I don't like it.
Everybody calm down. Everybody starts pronouncing words correctly. All right.
Formulaic.
I hear you. Formulaic. That's a tough one.
I think that's correct. I don't know, but yeah, it kind of
Galileo Figaro.
And then 3 was 3. I mean, listen, episode 2 was still better than the new Pinocchio movie. So,
I didn't even watch that.
terrible.
I don't want to watch it.
I refuse.
I put it on to see if Kennedy would like get into that, and then
I didn't like the original Pinocchio.
It is very dark. Yeah. Like, oh, let's turn
The
kids
guy
into
brought a
donkeys and sell
wooden
them to the
puppet
salt
to
mines. Like,
life. Of
this is
course it's
terrifying.
dark. The man wants a
yeah.
real boy.
Yeah, why does he want a real boy so much?
All right, so this is important segue to a new adventure we will be starting sooner rather than later. And we're all going to show you our wee-wees. And if you remember... if you remember in the chat, we chat so much, you may have missed this. We were going to start a podcast called Nothing Comes to Mind. But I had a thought, and I wanted to make it funnier, and I asked the question, would I watch it? So I put it down to, we're going to show you our list of wee-wees, right? So show us your wee-wee and your wee-wee list. Would I watch it list? Pinocchio, not on a list. Would I watch it? No. So it's coming down the line. You're going to see an Outside of Star Wars podcast and simulcast called the Wee Wee Podcast.
Oh, that's
It's
amazing.
It's coming soon, so get ready for that. So it's going to be great because we can talk stuff outside of Star Wars.
Oh my God.
Nicole's
Wee-wees.
in. All right, we're going to show you our wee wee list. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Oh Lord. Oh Lord,
Yeah,
Mike, please save us.
Sorry. Yeah, that was
Oh.
really that was my only big bottom from the.
I like a
first
big
three.
bottom.
There you go.
All right, we doing bottoms.
We're doing bottoms. We rely on you,
Where are
sir.
we
Or
at?
grievances, as they're
Grievances?
supposed to be called.
Not grievances, right?
Grievances.
I know. Sean likes to call them grievances.
Grievances.
The actual word.
That's right.
So am I just going all four? All
Yeah,
four?
fire away.
All right.
Fire away.
So in the first three, there were way too many shots of Cass just walking somewhere with like a backpack and just looking around. There were way too many shots of that. Just like him walking from like one room to another, him walking through a town to not be seen. Way too many shots of him just walking.
But it's cinematic, Michael.
I understand that. You could do
Understood.
that like twice, not for half the episode.
Got it.
Number 2, Bix needs a new excuse.
Tell me about it.
She,
I even thought it was getting old.
I'm running errands. Okay. What errands are you running right now?
Oh man, yeah, she's too obviously doing something that she's not supposed to be doing. It's
Yeah.
like so obvious, idiot.
This is gonna sound bad, but
You filtered it before you thought about saying it. I like that.
this is
That's
gonna
cool.
sound bad. I'm having trouble with all the accents.
I get it. No.
Yeah.
I mentioned it earlier. I'm having trouble picking up on dialogue,
Yeah,
and that's okay.
like the rewatch with the captions was very helpful.
Yeah.
Not only for understanding what people said, but for getting people's names.
Fair.
But yeah, they went like into like episode 1 was like a Cockney accent, into Diego Luna's accent, into an American accent, into that Scottish guy.
Yeah.
The
Even Luthen, his
even
deep rasp
Skarsgård,
is
yeah.
hard to hear. Yeah.
It was rough.
Listen, it's a diverse cast. I think you're
I
right.
have no issue with that.
You know, and it's fine. You know what I mean? It's like the representation is wonderful, and you know, if you see yourself, everybody sees themselves in the show in some way, shape, or form, which is a good thing. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't hear anything. There's too much noise. There's too much noise going on. Too much noise. Too many backpack shots.
Too many bad
All right.
shots. And then,
Dame. Oh, you keep
I'm
going.
sorry, I
I'm sorry.
got one more.
Yeah, one more.
Episode 4 felt too much like school. Just like too much, like
Yeah.
like a lot of note taking, a lot of trying to remember, like
Reviewing the objectives of the chapter,
yeah.
but not actually getting into any of the juicy content.
Mm-hmm.
Orientation
say.
day.
Orientation day. That's actually a good one. All right, Dames, what you got?
I mean, those were my bottoms. For 4, I had one problem, and like I know that it's a common thing in Star Wars, but Arville and Karis, I'm like, why can't there just be a Paul in Star Wars, or just somebody with like a normal name? Everything's always
Right,
super
it's very
confusing for
like
me, and
exotic.
sometimes I'm like, I hear the name and I have to like either write it down or like hear it 5 or 6 times to be like, okay,
Yeah.
that's how I pronounce it.
But
And,
Dame,
like, I like that they go different, but why can't there be a Mike in Star Wars?
well, similarly, they like to spice it up a notch. They put like an extra M on Tim, Bix's boyfriend.
And like that's the minorest of gripes. 'cause, like,
Madison.
yeah, Madison.
2 N's, 1 Y, but it's not where you think.
I
Like,
just want to
it's
let
just,
everyone
like,
know everybody
Madison,
on this
she
show
needs her
loves
own movie.
She-Hulk, and if you don't
Yes.
love it, get out. Thank you.
100%. It is so good.
It's
Yeah,
so much fun.
Oh,
Like
Lord.
that's pretty much like really like
Yeah.
that was like my only thing that like stuck out to me. I'm just like the most complicated names, and I'm like it's fine because it's Star Wars. Like I mean, Marva spells her name Maarva, so like that's cool. But I mean, sometimes the
Yeah.
names are just I'm kind of like it's a little over the top for me, and I'm just like, all right, like why can't there be a Damien in Star Wars?
It's very similar to Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
where it's like Daenerys, and then there's Jon.
there's Varys and
Don't you
there's
mean Aegon?
Valerian or Valeria or
Yeah.
all these different names for everything. But
So,
yeah,
similar
that was
to
really it. Because like I did like I kind of like episode 4 because of just like that whole like it almost seems like a suicide mission type thing that they're getting themselves ready for.
Seems like it, yeah.
And it just seemed like almost a parallel to basically what's going to happen to them in Rogue One. Like they know, like, yeah, like this is it. So I did like episode 4, but I just think some of the names are goofy.
I am cracking myself up right now just
We can tell.
because so similar to Tim with 2 M's, my brother-in-law once convinced his wife, my sister-in-law, that and a character on Game of Thrones was Doug Targaryen with 2 G's, D-U-G-G, Doug Targaryen.
Oh,
Teach me how to Dougie. Teach me how to Dougie. That's hilarious.
This new season's even more confusing with the names because they're all V's and they're all
Yeah, I haven't
they're all
watched the latest.
Targaryens
I'm
and
enjoying.
everything.
Hey, listen. She-Hulk on the wee list? Yes. House of Dragons on the wee list?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And tune in to the wee list later, because we'll be talking about all these shows. I think it's important that we talk about these shoys. I
We'll
think
be wee-weeing all over that list.
We're not shaking. We're not shaking. We're washing our hands. I didn't have enough thought process to do bottoms for episode 4. So thank you for sharing your episode 4 bottoms. But I think, friends, in the effort of time, and I think we're doing pretty good with time, let's move on to our noticements. Is that okay with everybody, class?
Yes.
I like that.
Time for the noticements.
You're right. I'm going to give you my noticements for episodes 1 through 4. Here we go. In episodes 1 through 3. This has to be forever, and it's the text on screen indicating what planet we're on. That has to happen forever now. Other shows should copy it. It should immediately be standard. And one cool thing about the text on screen is that it matches the text on screen from Rogue One, exact typeface. And that is lovely. Number 2, Luthen whistled at his ship like it was a horse. Incredible. I love it. Thing 3 in episode 4, a deep cut, not something that I didn't pick up on it, but I read about it. And did anybody play Knights of the Old Republic, the game? It takes place 4,000 years before the time of the original trilogy. Anyway, there's a race called the Rakatans, and Luthen mentioned something like the Attack of the Rakatans or something like that. And that is a
good name for a band.
Yes. The Rakatans were force-wielding non-Jedi who were war-centered and created a giant ship called the Starforge, which eventually a Sith takes over and does something with battle meditation in the game or something like that. But anyways, the purpose of that noticement is that it helps bring in Knights of the Old Republic into canon.
That's cool.
Which a lot of people have been wanting for a long time. So that is cool for the Knights of the Old Republic people. That's what I got in my noticements.
Nice.
Michael!
I didn't really notice. I feel like everything I've said
That's fair.
has been part of my note. Like the B2 emo is Doug from Up.
Yep.
I will have to recharge. I was hiding under the stool because I love you.
I kind of liked that the relationship that Andor has with the robot is very reminiscent of K2SO.
Yes.
Yep.
That was cool.
Yeah. I do like how they showed like from that time has passed and he has become an older droid.
That
As
is
he
cool.
starts to stutter in his older years.
Yeah.
And he's
like
recharged all the time.
He sort of suffers from Alzheimer's a little bit.
It's kind of like an Apple. It's kind of like, an iPhone after the update happens and
It can't
then the
get that
battery just completely drains because it can't take all of the new updates. Win
That
one
is-
for the USB-C in Europe.
I read that today. That's a huge win. Would I charge it? We see.
Nope.
This is the We See podcast. No, that is good. The USB, the USB Type C era is very confusing, but we'll talk about that over on the Extra Techie channel and all that good stuff. Dames, any noticeements? And Mike can just chime in as you go.
Yeah. So, episode 1, it's a blink and you miss it. There's a Gonk droid sighting in episode 1.
Nice.
Very, very cool. And I really liked Calf, and that's what I'm going to call Coffee for the rest of my life now.
Oh, yeah,
It just
Yeah.
makes me feel like I'm off on planet or off planet. Then we had a couple planet name drops. We had Mimbin, which obviously was, Solo. They
Yeah.
mentioned Scarif. Then Clem is his name in episode 4, and Clem was his adoptive dad from episode 1, or from the flashbacks.
I didn't
at
know
least.
that. Damn, good connection.
Yeah,
And then,
that was the same connection I made.
And that was the dad that got hung in the square, right? Didn't Luthen say that I knew your father got hung in the square or something like that?
I
Yeah,
don't know if it was the actual father or Clem.
Interesting.
that's true.
So, something
Because
to
Clem
ponder.
wasn't
Luthen
around
knows
when
so
everyone
much.
else was. The whole siege was happening and everything else. Trying to think of what. Oh, I had another one. Where is it? Oh, going into like it was. This is why I kind of thought like Luthen almost was the collector. There were so many Easter eggs when you watch Guardians of the Galaxy and you're in the collector's room seeing all this stuff.
Yeah.
You could see some Mandalorian armor in
Yeah.
that room. There was a Gungan shield I saw in that room.
Ooh, I didn't see the Gungan shield. Damn.
And there was something that like I thought it was, and I looked it up, and people were kind of agreeing. It almost looked like Indiana Jones's whip, but like encased in like metal. So I thought that was kind of cool too, because that reminds me of Solo when they had the fertility idol, on the ship with Voss and everybody. So a lot of cool little things there, and there was way more than just a couple that I picked up. There's definitely more. There's some article out there where it has every single item I think that's in there. And then there was also some cool little items that looked like pieces of the map almost from Jedi Fallen Order that were kind of against the wall, almost like on a slab. So that was pretty cool. And then I think that was pretty much all I had. It was just there were so many Easter eggs sprinkled out throughout.
It really was, and that's kind of where my original thought of the details. Yeah. I didn't have any of the details, so thank you, Damien, for filling in those gaps. Lots of Arabesh language around the town of Ferrix, which it apparently translates into very simple words like depot and repair and like Bix Kareen, I think is her last name. Like her name was on top of the garage and stuff like that. So no like exposed 2x4s or coffee cups in this show, I don't think. They're really doing a good job. And I think was it the producer or the director or the show creator basically said we're creating the most non-Star Wars show ever, or something like that.
I'm fine with that.
I'm so fine with it. I love it. I love it so far. So it's good
because it's really not playing out like a Star Wars show because you have not seen any mention of Jedi, Sith. Yeah. You've not seen anyone using Force powers, which is awesome.
It is awesome because it makes it more relatable.
Yeah,
to us, the common folk.
Yep, I like seeing an everyman Star Wars story.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, we know how the story ends.
He wakes up and it's a dream, just like that TV show Dallas. That's
That'd be
stuff.
cool.
He wakes up and he's like alive still or something.
Now, do you think if they encased themselves at the end of Rogue One in a 50s refrigerator like Harrison Ford did in Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, that they would have survived the Death Star single reactor core
I mean,
nuclear
if it was,
reaction?
lined with lead, I'm sure. Without a doubt.
Oh, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, does it make your wee list? You'll have to find out on the next show.
Me being one of the biggest Indiana Jones fans, I've never watched Kingdom of the Crystal Skull
You are
all the way
missing out.
through.
Oh, you've started it.
Like
but
I'm
can't finish it.
And no.
Fun fact about Indiana Jones: when Mel Brooks made Spaceballs,
Mhm.
he asked George Lucas if he could make the parody of Star Wars, and George Lucas said, "Sure, but you can't dress up Han Solo character like Han Solo." So he said, "No problem." So he dressed him like Indiana Jones instead. I didn't know that before, and I read that recently. I thought that was awesome.
Sense from what Bill was wearing in that.
Right.
That's so funny.
I have Mel Brooks memoir that he wrote, and I cannot wait to read it.
Nice.
I'm really excited about that.
Weeby, would I book it? No. Weeby?
Weary?
Weeby. Anyways. All right. Any other notices before we cap this off with our one sentence summary?
I have one more little noticement. There was a mention to a planet, I believe it was Arvala 6.
Okay.
In the little round table of the ISB.
Okay.
Grogu was found on Arvala 7.
Ooh. What? When did we find that out? For Grogu, I mean.
I did a little deep dive on it.
That's a deep dive, bro.
That's a deep dive. I was like, there's got to be something here. I'm not just going to mention this and not have some nerd.
So it's in the system of Arvala. Maybe it's the sixth moon or the seventh planet or something along those lines. Okay, that's cool.
That's pretty cool.
Very good. Very good. Nice. All right.
Garrisons, of course. love me a garrison. They love to mention garrison. I've never heard
the garrison. Is that what you're talking about?
Mando started it.
How much is a garrison?
We still don't know. Now we know it's 40. In this, we know it's 40.
Or 12 or 14. We don't know.
We don't know. This is a garrison of 40 on Aldhani. Is that the planet they're on? The Eye of Aldhani?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right.
I am really excited to see how they do that cinematically.
I'm prepared for it. I think it's going to be real nice. And I love it's like they're on the same team, but they're also backstabbing each other. It's so much. There's so many complexities there. I'm very interested. I can't wait to see the next epi. It's going to be great. All right. Are we ready to?
Only a few hours.
Oh my God! Don't mention it. I'll see you tomorrow night. Let's start the end of our episode by giving you the best one sentence summaries we can muster.
It's now time for that one sentence summary.
Yeah. I have two different one sentence summaries. I got one for left, one for 3, and one for 4. And do you have 2, Mike, or just 1?
I just got 1.
Understood. Damon, you have 2 or 1?
I got 1.
Oh God, so I'm the loser. Okay. Oh man. All right. Well, I'm just gonna make a compound sentence. How's that sound?
Perfect.
We're gonna send it. Here we go. Andor grows up in the Star Wars universe by also making Star Wars grow up, whilst Luthen dances through politics, and nothing and everything happens.
Nice.
That's all I got. That's all I could remember, unfortunately. I'm sure there was a lot more that we could have said, but that's all I have. All right, Dames, fire away.
Yeah. So I usually go like the humor route, but I actually went serious because I was just like I think with everything, every like Book of Boba Fett, it was always like jokes and stuff. But while off to a slow start, Andor promises to be the gritty, grounded Star Wars tale that the Book of Boba Fett could never be.
What?
Oh, you thought this was going to be serious? No, not on this show. Good try. Good try. No, good summary. I agree. And I also love that you threw Book of Boba Fett under the
bus.
under the carpet again.
Under the land speeder, if you will. Under the transport.
Like a bantha.
Under the bantha.
Under the bantha. I'm sorry. It's great. All right. Thank you. Very good. Mikey.
So I have to admit, this one sentence summary was not written by me. It was written by my friend Madison with 2 N's, 1 Y, but it's not where you think. First, it was fun. Then it was dull. Then it was fun again. Then it was boring, but in a fun way.
Shit.
No, that was great. Actually, it makes so much. It actually makes a lot more sense than
That really makes a
you're
lot of sense.
making it out to be. To be honest with you,
I know. That's why I did it that way. Or
So
she
good.
did it that way.
You didn't have to give like a devil 5 drops of your blood for that sentence, right?
No,
my God,
didn't
that's
have to
so
do
funny.
anything.
No Mephisto.
No Mephisto.
I did not prepare any predictions, but I can come up with one. Did you two prepare predictions for episode 5?
I got one. Maybe it might not happen in 5. Could happen
All right, well-
anytime in the series.
Well, stand
So-
by. Stand by for a second.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I think
forgot the
Damien
drop.
has some predictions.
All right. So, they're talking about a lot of other people and like who could possibly help. So I got 2. I do think we're going to see Bail Organa in this series.
Agreed.
Agreed.
I think that just makes a lot of sense. And like I was saying earlier, it's going to connect Kenobi to this, even though they're taking place at 2 separate, 2 different time periods, even though they're not, a couple years apart. But I think that's going to happen. And I think Andor will find his sister, but he's going to find out that she's actually like a high-ranking officer for the Empire.
That's
Do you
great.
think it's that Vedra chick?
Like the blonde?
They were really highlighting her a lot, but I have to go
That would
back
be a
and,
good
and
twisty.
watch the flashbacks because didn't she have darker hair as a child?
She had darker hair, yeah. But,
I mean, maybe that's a
you
disguise.
can dye it.
Yeah.
Dye exists.
But I do think that's going to be
Huh.
like a big twist. And I think like
Down.
there's nothing salvageable about her. And that's when he really decides to dedicate his cause to taking down the Empire.
Damn.
Hmm.
That's
The
so
opposite
much.
of Luke and Leia.
That's so much better than Dash Rendar. No, that's very good. I think those predictions are excellent. Yeah, that's a long. That's a long. That's a what was it? A long play prediction.
Yeah.
When it comes down to what's gonna cause him to kill a rebel spy in Rogue One for the cause, right? They're the saboteurs. They're the murderers. They're the people that do the deed. If you see Urso, you kill him. Forget what you heard in here. You know what I mean? So, like, what is going to drive Andor to be that? Because he's not really ruthless. He's cunning. He's a good fighter. He didn't mean to kill the dude. The corp or the cops. It's easy to just say they're cops. He didn't mean to do that, but now he's in the shit.
Yep.
As they've been saying. in Star
It's
Wars.
playing out like he's a less like quippy and charismatic Han Solo.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been in this fight
Han
since
Solo-
6 years old.
He has more of a clue than Han.
Yeah.
I think Han's always
I think you
lucked
could take
into
Han
a
in a
lot of
fight.
things
I
that
think-
have happened to him.
Han rolls the dice a lot and gets lucky a lot.
Yeah.
Right. And I think Cassian has the ability to be a little bit more like clever and cunning, but he just finds himself in worse situations than Han.
For
Because
sure.
there's a lot of like, you can't talk your way out of this one, which is all, and like, he owes a ton of people money. Like I remember watching that in that one scene where like he was trying to, like, they were trying to shake him down. I'm like, is he just Han Solo?
Yeah, I mean a little bit, but I definitely think he's complicated.
Oh yeah.
I think he's been
Bummer.
avoiding. He avoids things to the best of his ability, but he also seems genuine because like people rallied in the town for him.
Yeah.
Well, they rallied against the cops, but you know his friend that he talked to, he said, "I need you to cover for me." You know what I mean? Like I need an alibi.
Yep.
You know, so like obviously he's known a bit in Ferrix, so that's curious. Very, very curious. Very good. Okay. Any other predictions that we can think of? I can't think of any right now. My brain has toasted.
I think that, well, I thought Mothma's contact or other person that she might have is going to be Bale, so I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think that the partisans might have a similar plan to attacking this garrison for some reason. I don't know why. And that's when we're going to get our first, next episode is when we're going to get our first Saw appearance.
Yeah, good call. Good call there. Yeah, I think the husband of Mothma is going to be the catalyst that pushes her to the rebel cause. That's probably what's going to happen. Yeah, for me. So that's good stuff. All right, awesome.
One other quick prediction.
Yeah.
I think Saul Guerrero is going to wear a necklace at some point in the show, and they're going to have him be called Chainsaw.
Oh God. Wait, not that one.
That's how you know it's 11 o'clock at night, and we're all exhausted.
I looked at BAT, and I'm like, that's Badum Tiss. No, it's not. It's a battle alarm.
I can't wait to see him back, though. He was just
it's gonna be
so
good.
unhinged in Rogue One.
Yeah.
Like what's this guy gonna do?
Yeah.
So
I've read plenty of. I mean, there's a Rebel Rising book which is all about Jyn Erso, and there's a lot of Saul Guerrero and his terrorist attackiness in the book. So he's definitely a very cool character. We get just a shell of him in Rogue
maybe
One,
we could Bodhi
the
Rook
end.
cameo somewhere, just walking in the background. Who knows?
That'd be cool.
Possibilities are endless.
Indeed. There's a lot of things.
K2, right? We're absolutely getting K2. Has that been confirmed?
I would say toward the end, maybe season 2.
It's toward the end.
Okay.
Season 2, maybe, because that's when season 2 is 1 year before Rogue One. I think the entire season is 1 year. I think this is
5.
This is 5 years.
It's going to cover 4, like the 4 years, and then I think or something like that. Like they're going to move through it quick, which is kind of what House of Dragon is kind of doing that, where they're just like, but they're going episode to episode jumpies, which is a little. Oh, Nicole.
Thank you, Nicole.
Confirmed.
Thanks, Nicole.
Thanks, Nicole. You're the best, Nicole. We love you. Rogue One Radio. You should listen to them. They have good stuff, and they just celebrated their 100th episode. Couple weeks ago, I think.
Congrats! That's awesome.
It's really
That's
good
awesome.
stuff.
Good stuff.
We don't count on this. I don't know where we're at, to be honest.
Yeah,
with you.
where are we?
I don't know.
Like 6.
Don't ask me. I don't need these questions. I'd have to look. I really would have to look.
I mean, I feel like we could count. So like, there's 8 of there's 16 of Mando. All right.
Okay.
So there were 6 of Boba.
Mm-hmm.
And 6 of Obi-Wan.
Okay.
So that's 16 and 12. It's 28.
Prediction episodes too, I think.
So
right?
give or take 30.
Give or take 30. All right, 30 is a good.
Nice.
That's a good hangout, Sash. I think
This is 31.
Would you say that we've successfully docked?
It's always the first one back's always the get into the swing of things type thing.
It is.
We don't figure out our rhythm until the final episode when we go over 6 hours.
Correct. And we're actually doing pretty good on time considering. But speaking of docked.
Good God. You really went there. You really went there. Well,
It's past 11 o'clock, so it's extra Star Wars.
It's
After
extra
dark.
with
After
3
dark.
X's.
The FTC can't come after us now. We're good. It's the
Extra Star Wars with 3 X's.
That's actually really funny. All right, Mike. I would say save the show, but we all know it's going downhill, so go ahead.
So speaking of docs, and what the host of the show most graciously said, well, this week my OnlyFans will be my Bic So Hard
Perfect.
for docking.
I hope we see her again in future episodes, because she's obviously part of some sort of rebel guerrilla group, and Andor knows that. So I
want to see her for different reasons.
Yeah, well, as long as she's okay with it. And
Like always, I can't.
we got to get out of here. We're going to get in trouble. Okay. Friends and family, this was our reasons as why Andor is the best Star Wars show out there right now on Disney Plus. Episodes 1 through 4. We've got Mike. We've got Damien. We're gonna realign the satellites for Damien, so his camera will come back to life for us.
Yeah,
we've had some witty insights. Stay tuned for our wee list, and we can't wait to bring you just a solo episode. I'm so excited that we're done these 4 episodes. You have no idea. It was weighing on my soul. We're gonna bring you episode 5 next week, same time, Tuesday evening around 9:30. We won't spend a lot of time. We know you're busy, but we're looking forward to covering Andor. We know that you have a lot of shows that you can listen to, and I know that the time doesn't work for everybody, so if you catch the replay, make sure you share it out, like and subscribe, and do all the good things that you will do. Thanks for watching, everybody. Boys, it's been a pleasure. We're going to play the intro as the outro because that's all I have. I have no outro, so we're going to play the intro. It's been great chatting with everybody. We'll see you next time.